Stand up.
Well, I'll make them better. Kelly, stand up.
When something like Adam Lanza happens, the lawmakers, the media, everybody tries to fix the symptoms. The problem is just what Mo said, it's a spiritual problem. And we weren't, I mean, they took God out of schools, out of public life, I think it was like a year before I was even born. And I'm just learning now that George Washington actually made a covenant with God. So we are based in that, and because we've fallen away from that, we're under judgment. I really think it's probably already sealed, but that's the problem. We have to get back to what the founders.
What do you think's already sealed?
The judgment. 9/11 was the breach. But that doesn't mean that individuals can't come back to God. We can't know Jesus. You know that. I'm sorry to get all preachy too,
Okay.
but you know, it is part of our heritage. Whether you go to church
we were
or not.
founded.
That's right.
Joey.
The problem starts right here in this room. And it starts with some of us that voted to put the guards in the schools.
Right.
We are setting our children up for failure. What's happening is we're gonna make these kids dependent on the government. They're gonna make these kids fear mongers. What happens is they're gonna be worried from the time they get to kindergarten to the time they graduate. They're gonna be scared that they're gonna need a guard with a gun, the government, to protect them. And we all who voted for that gun bill, trying to protect our kids, all did a disservice to our kids. And because no matter what you do, you're not gonna be able to protect them. But you're just gonna make them growing up more dependent on the government. And it's sad because what happens is we vote with our hearts, not our heads. We need to be voting with our heads, not our hearts. And the thing is, it's very hard to sit up there and say no on a vote because I just may have cost a bunch of kids their lives if someone does decide to come in. But just like you said, with freedom, there's gonna be bad things that happen. And even when you get the government watching every bit of you, there's still gonna be bad things that are gonna happen. You know, they can take all the weapons around. That kid went over there in Texas and started stabbing people.
Somebody had a gun.
You're not gonna protect our
Take away the
kids from
kitchen
everything.
knives.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to protect our kids from everything. And we don't even let our kids fall down and get hurt anymore.
Get rid of the honest.
And I'm guilty of it too, because I take care of my kids more than I should. Because they gotta fall, they gotta get hurt, and that's what's gonna build their character. But if we're there watching every step they're doing, as a parent, not letting them fall, as a municipality, guarding them all day long, as the government with more police and more of a dictator state, we're gonna hurt our own kids. And it's inevitable that we are gonna be a socialist state. Because as we start taking them from little kids and we coddle them a certain way, they're gonna expect that when they get older. And just as much as I did more for my kids than my father and mother did for me, they're gonna wanna do more for their kids than what we did, and they're gonna be more protective, more coddling, they're gonna look at the government for everything. And we're flushing our kids down the toilet.
John, stand up.